for warwear.com.
Hello, family and friends. How are you today? My name is Praise for Aware, and I'm super excited to be with you again. It's my global classroom, and this is the first edition for 2023. How are you? It's Happy New Year to you, and I'm super excited that I'm here to be seeing you guys and to see that you guys are doing so well this year. Well, I my goal scoring class, and it was such an amazing class. We had an amazing session. People found their lives. In case you missed those classes, we had four major sessions. For those of you in North America, you can now get the replay. I bet you it will take you a minimum of about 12 hours to successfully go through creating your next 10 years. Because oftentimes I say to people, there's no new year without a new you. And people have told me about that class that it shouldn't be goal scoring, it should be more than goal scoring, because it's actually, I took them to design their next 10 years and we cascaded that down to the year they're in. And so you are going to audit your life, you're going to create the life of your dreams. I look forward to you going through that class, because every human being actually needs to go through that. Okay, so last year we couldn't get to complete the series we're running, which is winning with people. And so I'm quickly going to, complete that today, and we will move into something else. Now, if you want me to answer specific questions, or there are things you would like me to, respond to, please kindly send a mail to praiseforward@gmail.com, and I'll respond to you. I must appreciate all my regular listeners, wherever you join from Africa, from North America, from Europe, and then those from, New Zealand, those from Asia. I want to say thank you very much. Well, we're going to have a fantastic year, and this is a global classroom. So tell your friend to tell your friend to tell their friends to tell their friends to tell everybody that they should meet here every Thursday at 4 p.m. Central Time. Now, today we look at the final one, which is the power key, which is the power of love. I love this one because I always say to people, love is not what you do, love is who you are. Now, can you look at the screen and look at the people in there? So you can see Sheikh there, you can see an Abalist from Africa there, you can see the Shintos there, the Hindus, you can see the Saleh people, or what we call the white garment churches around the world. You can see the LGBT, you can see the person you call a prostitute, you can see all kinds of people in there, right? The question is, have you tried to love any of these people before? Now, we always have a reason to hate a group of people, not to love a group of people. Not because you want to, but because we've been scripted to have that kind of persona or belief system, right? When we're growing up, they'll tell you, if you're Christian, you're the only one going to make heaven. The Muslims are not going to make heaven. And so that already created a bit of enmity or a sense of superiority. Meanwhile, the Muslims will also tell you, their way, is the perfect way. And every other person who doesn't follow their way is a kafiri, or whatever they call them. Everybody just believes that they're superior to everyone. And so instead of us collaborating and working together, we work against ourselves. If you take religious beliefs, cultural beliefs away from people, people will be the best of friends. The world is going to be peaceful. But how that becomes so difficult for us to do that we now go to war over what none of us own, when we always fail to fail to remember that none of us brought anything to this planet, and we're not going to take anything away. So you see, someone gets into a position of leadership. That person has a lifespan. He has an expiry date. The expiry date is about maybe maximum of 120 years. And he's going to hold on to power tightly, and he's going to think that the world will rise and hand with him. Meanwhile, when the guy is dead, he cannot. Have you seen a dead person before? So I find it hard to understand why people struggle to love. Now, love is actually a decision, right? And you need to understand it, because if you already want to win with people, if you master how to love, or you are reduced to love, you'd realize that anywhere you find yourself, you will consistently win. Love is a decision that is based on a commitment to add value to someone else for the rest of your life without expecting a thank you. So true love, the purest form of it, is not symbiotic. Yeah, you heard me right. It's not symbiotic. So it's not I do you this, you do that to me. If we keep doing that, we're not going to love. We're not going to create a world of lovers. Now, we live in a dog eat dog world where we give nothing for nothing simply because we have been wired to always, trade. So, which means love is always transactional to us. The energy of life, however, is that you will reap what you sow, not necessarily where you sow it, because every time you're trying to reap what you sow where you sowed it, you will manipulate people, and love becomes transactional. So, I always say to people, you know what? I'm not going to bother about what you do to me. I know that my duty is to love you. My duty is to just keep loving, even if you don't love me back, because I'm going to eventually reap what I sow. Now, it doesn't mean love is stupid, but you see, the capacity to love is the ability to look at the next human being or everybody, regardless of their beliefs, regardless of their persuasion, to look at them as man made in God's image and to understand that they are a reflection of you. There's a concept in Swahili that is called Ubuntu. Ubuntu means no man is man except through others. It means that I am because you are because I am. There is no me without you, and whatever I do against myself. Now, you need to understand that there is no way you can love God effectively if you won't reflect in how you treat the next man, because a proof of love is measured in what we do to those who don't have the capacity to pay us back. I see people every day, they lift up holy hands. I love God, I love you, Lord. They're singing in churches, they go to mosque on Friday, but they are badly behaved with people. There is no way you can love God and treat people with levity. So when I see leaders who carry religion on their head and they're going to work, I see people who claim, our God, we are God's own country, and I see how we treat the next man, how we treat the people who are vulnerable. A society is known, but it can be actually measured by how they treat the most vulnerable in their midst. You cannot claim you love God and hate the next man or be bad to the next man, because love is a force that must define us. It must first be who we are, not we do. Many of you are trying to love when love is not a nature to you, and that's why you struggle. That's why you are respecters of person. That's why you choose those you love, you choose those you hate, and so you are schizophrenic, because you're manifesting two constructing personalities at every point in time. It's either you want to love or you want to hate. Right. When love is what we do without being who we are, we will withhold it from those who can pay us back and stop those that hurt us. And so consistently, because our love is transactional, you will hear people say, I can't love that person. You will hear people say, I hate, because it's what they do. So somebody hurts you in a relationship, you're on your way out. Somebody hurts you in friendship, you're on your way out. You forget that people will hurt you if there is hurt inside of them. That hurting people hurt others. And those that hurt you, it's not that they are totally bad. It's just that they are at a disempowered phase of their life, right? And you used to be there because you've been bad to other people before in times past, because now you have awareness. You've suddenly forgotten that you used to be there. Now, it doesn't mean you should be stupid enough where people perpetually hurt you, right? You can guard yourself, but when it's your nature, you will not withhold what they need or what they require when they need it, if it's in your capacity to give it to them. Technically, that's why I say that people don't hurt us. People are only revealed because they are, what is revealed is where they are at time. Because true love is a state of being wherein you have no ability to do otherwise outside the release of the energy of love. That if they squeeze you, right, what we take out of you must be love. If you shout and you scream at you, your response cannot be hate, right? Because if you bring hate, then hate exists in you. Now, this is sounding like an utopian role, but you see, love can be learned. I have seen it, I have lived it, and I know this is possible. You can learn it because hatred was also learned. Many of us have lost the state of being because of our experience, which has driven us, and we have bruised as good a capacity to effectively love. Many of you have been, what you call hatred right now is actually love that has been sabotaged. Yes, your love was sabotaged. Your love was compromised by someone that you shared it with who does not have the capacity to maximize you. But you see, we can recapture it because love is life and humanity cannot survive without love. If you make it a point of duty to always look out for the best in others. So when you see people, instead of looking at what is bad about their clothes, what is bad about their life, what you focus on determine what you see, and focus create blindness. So if you make it a point of duty to always look for what is best about people, you would realize that you are better able to relate with them. I mean, the Holy Book of the Christians says that for God so loved the world that gave his only begotten son. Why do we serve God? Because we are all convinced that God is a lover. So if God is a lover and we are made in his image, then we need to learn to love, because there are people who may never experience God until they meet you, because love is God and God is love. Now, having said that, I love what Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King Jr. have to say about love. Martin Luther King Jr. says love is not emotional badge. It is not empty sentimentalism. It is the active outpouring of one's whole being into the being of another person. That when the totality of you is given to someone else or given to a cause, that is love. Nelson Mandela says if people can learn to hate, they can be taught to love, for love comes more naturally to human heart than its opposite. And that's why you know that even though you want to hurt someone, you still have this soft spot that says to you, withhold what you want to do, right? Because if we give hate, then we have sown hatred. Hatred will come to us from another source. But if love is what we sow, you would realize that you create the energy that or releases your capacity to innovate, to create, and to be a blessing to people. So someone is wondering, how do I love people who hate me? Now the question is, do you want to hate those who hate you? If you hate them, what exactly does that do to you? Does it make you happy? Does it give you the best version of yourself? Right? We do not change who we are because of what people do. God cannot say that because people don't praise me, I will now become devil. Then it means it was never God. If people change you or circumstances force you to change, then you have not mastered your identity, because no matter how much you insult my remote control, it's not going to turn to a car. It's not going to turn to a goat. It's not going to turn to a chicken if you insist, you are very useless, you can't be eaten. No, that's why it's better when love is a being than when it's what we're trying to do without it first of all being a being. So what are the things you need to know? Number one, practice the act of looking out for the best, even in the worst. The worst will always have their day. And that's why you don't want to join those who are judgmental and they try to kill someone who is in a disempowered state. Number two, make up your mind to add value to everyone that comes your way, even if you don't have the capacity if they don't have the capacity to pay you back, right? Love is always about giving, right? And so I have made up my mind that if you hang around me, I'm going to add incredible value to you, because it's an opportunity to solve. My mentor says that people are not people are not distractions, that people are not how does it put it, Dr. Miles? He says people are opportunities, people are not interruption. So don't look at people and think they are wasting your time, they're this, they're that, they didn't praise you because of what you did. So because of that, you're going to withhold the bowel of mercy. If you withhold the bowel of mercy, you also withhold the harvest of mercy in your direction. Number three, consistently release the energy of love in the direction of those that hate you, because the fire extinguisher for hate is not hate. The fire extinguisher of hate is love. According to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., you want to release that energy, right? It was Michelle Obama who says, when they go low, we go high. We don't go low with them now. We keep going high, because high is what where we belong. So you need to self-nurture. What it means is you need to be comfortable in your skin. You need to get to the point where you can say to yourself, Praise, I just love you. Praise, you are the greatest being that has happened to the whole world. Praise, you are the leader of the universe. And sometimes they're not going to give it to you the way you're giving it to them, but you just keep having to give, because you can never tell at what point you are going to entertain angels or you're going to entertain God himself. Then I always say to people, set aside 10% of your earning for those who may never be able to pay you back. That is where God has placed you, to be able to fend for those who cannot fend for themselves, and process whatever is done against you through the screen of love and ask, what will be my love response? I love the way my friend Yemi David put it. He says, our work must be love work, right? He says it all the time when we're talking. So our response has got to be love, because you clock the wheel of your progress. you clog your life, and you become badly behaved to those who can open doors for you if you insist on revenge. And that's why revenge must not be a part of your lifestyle, because it has a way of unsettling you, which is the word, this is when your ease has been unsettled. And that's why a lot of people are sick, right? So love, however, is not, stupid, right? And it doesn't mean keeping people who perpetually work against your well-being in your circle, because part of loving them is taking them out, right? It doesn't now mean that you open yourself till you get killed. No, it just simply means that I'm not going to reward you the way based on the bad you have done to me. However, I'm going to position myself to be able to help you. So I'm not going to say retain you in my organization. However, I can help you get another job, or I can put you on my foundation so that we can support you. That is the part of love. You can't say I don't hate you. That I love you doesn't mean we must keep together in a relationship. I mean it doesn't mean so, because part of love is release, right? It doesn't mean that I must now give myself for you to kill me. No, part of love is letting you go so that you can find your life, right? So you need to understand the balance. True love is not always yes. True love is both yes and no, because no could also mean love is saying no. For example, if you have a son who stands on the 14th story and he says, "Mommy, I can jump. I know you love me. You're going to allow me to jump." Love at that point is not a yes. Love is a no, right? Love is not giving your 8-year-old, your underage, your car key because he's going to kill himself. Love is saying no, right? And so I need you to understand that the balance is that love is not always yes, love is always no. However, we do not withhold the power of mercy. And finally, I think you can also ask God for love. I remember when I was in the university, I used to pray that prayer: God, reduce me to love, reduce me to love, reduce me to love. So when people started calling me an incurable optimist who never gives up on people and who never withhold the power of mercy, I understand that was an answered prayer. I mean, I always pray for the prayers that religious people don't pray. I ask God for exchange of his wisdom. I ask God to give me his brain, for example. Those are the things I demand for, not cars or houses and all those kind of things. Because I know that if I have his mind, then I can think his thoughts, and I can take his action and produce his result. So we've talked about the 4 vital keys to winning with people. We talk about the law of acceptance. We talk about the law of respect. We talk about the law of understanding, which is standing under. And now we've talked about the power of love. Remember, the most effective human beings are driven by love, which is why they're able to consistently give even when the recipient do not reciprocate or appreciate it. Your self-nurture must not come from what people outside of you are able to do or give to you. It must come from how you are able to demonstrate who God is to them by becoming a channel that sends rain to the just and the unjust, simply because humanity is in need of it, right? And that is so critical and so profound when it comes to loving people, right? You need to love them, because even the most ardent criminal can be broken by love. I have had clients that what broke them eventually was love, not even any therapy. And that's why when you can process everything through the prism of love, you can innovate for humanity. Because if you don't have the capacity to love humanity, regardless of their sexual orientation, religious persuasion, then God may not commit what will benefit them into your care, because then you will be you will shortchange people, you will give condition before you can do what you need to do. Love must become who we are. And I want to believe as we go into the year 2023, we will be reduced to love, because there is so much war, so much hatred all around the world. But what our world needs is love. So I look forward to you loving yourself and loving the people around you. The capacity to love is in us, and we must make it happen. Well, I have a mastermind for the year. You want to join that mastermind? You can see the site that's scrolling on the screen. You want to join my mastermind for the year? Is a session that runs 12 classes in a year, every month. I'm meeting with a group of people, strategizing with them, building their capacity to deliver on their result for the year. It's not free, but you can spread your payment, right? It's very affordable. Whether you're in Africa or you're out of Africa, you can join that. Our first class is on Sunday, right? Which is orientation and onboarding, but the main class is on the 22nd of this month, thereabout, which is the first class for January. Then every third Sunday of the month, we will meet to strategize with them. I'm going to be bringing some of my mentors and some of my leaders and some of my people to come and interact with this group of people. So look for someone to love around you. Someone is hungry, feed them. Don't think about the fact that they don't praise you, they don't worship you. No, your gift lifts your hand. It never leaves your life, because God rewards you in good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. I want to appreciate all of you once again. I mean, you guys were with me all through last year when we started this program. Let us do it again this year. It's every Thursday. Invite your friend, 4 p.m. Central Time. I want to believe we're going to have a blast of the year. Like I said to you, move from goal scoring, goal setting to goal scoring. But the most important person is a goal scorer, which is you. And that's why if you have missed my goal scoring class, you want to go back there, lock yourself up, spread maybe 4 days or something, but it's 12 hours in all, and answer all the questions. You will be glad that you have done that. I want to appreciate you once again. I'll see you some other time next week as we come to my global classroom again. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.